Hey guys, Night Raid Gaming here, and I thought it'd be fun to talk about Gundam Evolution. The new Season 2 trailer will be premiering tomorrow. I imagine they're going to reveal some of the new content that is going to come with Season 2. Season 1 technically included 5 new mobile suits. It included Melee Zaku, Exia, Marasai was included, Mahiro, and Gundam Unicorn. So going off of that, I'm assuming that Season 2 will also add 5 more new suits. We'll probably get a map or 2. Map content is pretty difficult to do and to do it well, so I'm only expecting 1 or 2 maps. It's possible we may get a new mode, a capture the flag or something like that, but I'm expecting the main thing that we're going to get is new suits, new skins, all the stuff that's sellable. So knowing that, I thought, let's talk about suits that I think they will add to the game. I think have a very good chance of being added to the game based on various factors. And then some suits that I wish they're going to add to the game. They might, but I don't think there's a good chance of them coming in Season 2. Maybe in later seasons, they might just not do them at all. So let's kind of walk through what some of that is. So the first suit I think has a super good chance of coming in is the new Gundam from the Witch of Mercury series. Now, I don't know the first thing about this new series. There's new characters, there's new anime. They've already added some promo items. So for me, this is a shoo-in. I think it's really obvious. You add the new suit. Add the newest Gundam, put it in the latest game. They're not above cross promotion. Now, I'm not sure that this Gundam is going to be that interesting to play. As far as Gundam goes, looks pretty typical. It's got some beam sabers, probably has a blaster. Maybe there are some really unique weapons or features of this suit, but as far as Gundam goes, this looks pretty generic, but I'm expecting to get it. So I think this one has a really high chance of being added. They're not above cross-promoting the game with the series and the series with the game. So this one to me is actually very, very high. And they've had enough time now. Season 1, they probably couldn't have the time to design it and add it in. But I think by Season 2, it's been enough time for them to come up with the design for an in-game suit for this. Next thing, I think super high chance is Kshatriya. Can I speak? Kshatriya. I think this suit has another super good chance. It's a rival for Unicorn. Unicorn series is super, super popular. You could almost, I was very close to putting Banshee. Banshee could be in here as well, but I'm thinking they're going to add Kshatriya first. Banshee would definitely also be a really popular suit, but I don't think they want to kind of blow their load all in Season 2. They need to save a couple aces for Season 3s or in Season 4 or whatever down the line. They always need that bait for you to keep checking if they've added the suit. So I think Kshatriya is a nice balance. Pretty popular. They still get to keep Banshee in their back pocket. And I think more importantly for this suit, the gameplay is going to be different. Kshatriya has a lot of beam weapons, a lot of beam attacks, long range attacks. Could be kind of cumbersome and slow. Could have a lot of like fin funnel attacks where it's launching out probes. So it's going to be a very super annoying suit. However they managed to put this in the game, I don't even know how you could balance it. But I'm expecting them to at least add one more, super range dedicated character. And this would have some unique gameplay. Kshatriya is pretty good if you've ever played the Gundam Versus games. Has a unique gameplay style. And if you haven't played Gundam Versus, pick up a PlayStation, go back and play that. That's pretty fun. But I think this is a good suit in terms of popularity. They need more Unicorn suits. Unicorn needs a rival and gameplay. This is a good fit. Now, what really almost shocked me beyond belief, even after Season 1 was added, is there's nothing from Seed. Nothing from Gundam Seed Destiny. Like, how is that possible? It's the most misclick. It's the most popular series in Japan. Like, it's really, really, really popular. I can't believe they skipped over that suit. Now, I think for the original game, they were focusing more on maybe gameplay mechanics, because they've added some very almost bizarre suits. Season 1, they were, I think, a little more focused on characters, a little bit. But I don't see how they can go into Season 2 and not add anything from Gundam Seed. Something has to come in. Now, I don't think it's going to be Strike Freedom, for the same reason I said for Banshee. I think they want to save a little juice further down the line. So I think Infinite Justice would be a good one. It's a villain suit. It's got a lot of speed. It has a flight pack. Has tons of weapons. So you can have an energy shield. You can have swords, blasters. I mean, they can do 101 things with this. And at least gets Seed in the game, gets it present. Has a unique design. So I think this one has a good chance. Could be Strike Freedom, but I'm knocking against that because if the Witch of Mercury suit is added, you kind of already have that generic Gundam. So they're going to need something else. So I think they'll add this. I think they're also going to add Zeta Gundam. You have to add Zeta Gundam. How do you add Methus and Marasai and even what is the stupid guy who flies around the spaceship, who's like nothing in the anime, Ashamar, and you don't have Zeta? This to me is also insane. How they've all gone this far without adding Zeta Gundam. It's way too popular in Japan, at least for the old school people. Zeta Gundam's very powerful. He could be kind of like a carry. He could have, a really powerful blaster. He could be fairly tanky with the shield, and he could have a jet mode. So that could also be pretty cool. So the mechanics are already in there for transforming suits. They could make him pretty much more powerful. His ultimate, maybe make his flight mode his ultimate. He transforms into the his spaceship mode, and then he just has a super powerful blaster. Whatever. There's tons of ways to do it. I was absolutely shocked Zeta is not yet added in the game. Has to be added. You cannot have a Gundam game go this long without Zeta Gundam. To me, Season 2 has to be in. Has to. I think Gundam Wing is going to get in here. Now, I think for most of the decisions as far as Gundam Evolution suits are going, they're not really that concerned about North American fans. I mean, they care a little bit. Obviously, it's an FPS game. And that's the reason Gundam Evolution is even a first-person shooter. It's intended to appeal to a Western audience by gameplay. But they're not leaning too much on the license to lure Western game fans in. That's more, I think, a bait for the Japanese players to get them to try an FPS. So it's kind of like, okay, we have the mechanics that Western players like, not necessarily a license they like. And with Japan, we have a license you like, not so much the mechanics you like. And they're kind of hoping that that's going to be enough appeal to get everyone across. However, I think they're going to throw us one little bone, which is going to be Gundam Wing Endless Waltz version. It's pretty popular in Japan as well, has been increasingly more popular in Japan, I think. There's more nostalgia for this series. Obviously way more popular in the United States, but still fairly popular in Japan. Gets a lot of suits, gets a lot of redesigns, gets a lot of model kits, could have really powerful blasters, could fly, could have floating. So I think gameplay-wise, it's pretty good. Add some more ranged units. Season 2 is almost the season of melee, so this might be the season of long range. And I think it has good appeal and good gameplay. Now, I'm kind of going like a little weird with this one, but I'm trying to account for the Gundam Evolution weirdo factor. And I think it's pretty clear that Gundam Evolution likes melee suits. They like a little goofiness. Melee Zaku is a little goofy. Guntank, obviously, very goofy. So they kind of throw in these kind of goofball characters. Even my hero is weird. So knowing they like melee, knowing they like goofiness, and Char needs another suit. Sazabi's in there, but that's not enough to account for Char. He just has way too many suits. They're all incredibly powerful. So one who checks all the boxes is Zagok. Zagok is a retro throwback. He's goofy. He could definitely be melee. It's a Char suit. Zagok to me could be kind of interesting. Could do like all sorts of weird mechanics, digging through the ground, could have stuns. I mean, I'm sure it'd be totally obnoxious if they put this in the game, but Char needs more representation. Char just sells. So I'm expecting that in Season 2, we must get another Char suit, and I think this is the best chance. Other suits of Char, like, Nightingale is too much like Sazabi. Gelgoog, kind of a little too generic. I think Zagok is different enough, and it's going to hit enough boxes to be the next Char suit. So while I think those are 5 suits with really good chances of getting in, these next 5 are suits that I would like to get in. I think they would be good choices, but might not ever come to the game or might not be in Season 2, maybe 3 or 4. So the first one of those is New Gundam. You have to add New Gundam to this game. I'm stunned that Sazabi's in it and not New Gundam. You need New Gundam in there. You need another Amuro suit. They only have original Gundam, and that's perfectly fine. Legally, they have to do that. But New Gundam has to be coming sooner rather than later. I don't think it's going to be Season 2. I think it's going to be Season 3. Could definitely be a very tanky character. Could almost be like a good guy version of Sazabi. I could see them going like that. Very tanky character with the fin funnel shield, which could make it invincible. This thing could be very obnoxious. Has fin funnel attacks, so it could be a really good ranged character. Might be kind of slow. So I don't think it's gameplay or even popularity that's keeping New Gundam out of it. I think they focused way more on gameplay in Season 1 and the original launch. Season 2, for the reasons I mentioned. But New Gundam, he's got to be coming into this game. He just has to be in it. I think there's just not enough slots in Season 2 to put him in. But I think right away, Season 3, this guy's going to be in there. I think Gun Cannon should be in the game. You don't often get Gun Tank without Gun Cannon. They kind of like, it's like 1 and 2. They're like R2-D2 and C-3PO. They're like pretty much always almost together. And so if they're going to give us Gun Tank and that goofy guy, I feel like Gun Cannon should be added. He could be sort of similar. I think he could be a little bit more balanced, not as slow as Gun Tank. Maybe he could have a little bit more range than Gun Tank. It could be a support character. Maybe he could just have more offense, more melee attacks. Gun Tank does have that charge, but maybe he could have a good like punching brawl combo. That he could be a hybrid, versatile. He has a little melee. He could melee a little bit. He could range a little bit. He could melee against the melee guys. He could range against the range guys. I think Gun Tank makes sense for the series. I think he's usually pretty fun in games that have him. So I think Gun Cannon. Gun Cannon should be added. I just don't think he's going to make the cut anytime soon, but I do feel like he'd be a good add, and I would like to see him. Heavy Arms, to me, I don't think has a good chance of making it. Gundam Wing, like I said, is kind of popular, but not enough, I think, for it to make the cut in the game right now. I think if we're going to get anybody, it's going to be Wing, and that's going to have to hold us for a while. Heavy Arms, to me, though, makes absolutely perfect sense in an FPS game, for the love of God. He's covered in bazookas and cannons and machine guns and missile launchers. He's one of the most ranged characters in the entire Gundam franchise. He's always really fun when they add him in. Sometimes they can't seem to ever consistently pick what Heavy Arms they go with. In some games, they go with the original series Heavy Arms. Sometimes they go with Endless Waltz version. Sometimes they go with Heavy Arms Kai. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they ever consistently have picked out one version of this suit to be representative of. It's kind of like almost like 30%. But either way, it doesn't really matter. They kind of all play the same. Whether it's the red version or the Endless Waltz blue version with the clown mask. Either way, I'm fine with it, but I feel like if you have an FPS game and you don't add heavy arms, what are you even doing, man? And then, of course, Epion. Now, this game is already extremely obnoxious with Melee Zaku, with Exia, with Barbados. I don't think they have done a good job balancing those melee characters. So if they add Epion, I would imagine he'll be the most obnoxious melee character in the game. He could, Epion has nothing but melee weapons. He has a giant beam saber. He has a giant whip. He can transform into a dragon, which I imagine would be his ultimate. But Epion is completely busted. Any game that makes the mistake of adding him, God forbid if you've played Gundam Versus against Epion, I mean, at least Epion takes a lot of skill in that game, but basically in Gundam Versus, if Epion touches you, you're dead. The only thing that balances him is he has to close the gap. But once he gets in, you're dead. You're dead. You're just dead. Okay? No one's beating him in melee, which totally fits the suit. So I could imagine they could do the same thing in this game. My only complaint with Epion really would be just how they would balance him. But in terms of the look, in terms of another Gundam wingsuit, in terms of the gameplay, the cool factor, I think everything is there. I just don't trust them to do a good job balancing it, but whatever. Melee's busted. We might as well have a cool suit. And then kind of the last one, and I think this guy has like no shot in this game of ever coming out, but it's Camphor. Camphor has a cool design. He has a lot of weapons. He has a bazooka. He has a shotgun, which is really cool. He has landmines that he can throw out. He has a lot of bombs. And Camphor is extremely fast. So in games, the handful of games where you can play him as, he's always like really, really fun. Just having a shotgun as a really fast character could be a blast. Sazabi has like that laser shotgun, but Camphor has just like a real bullet shotgun. And god damn it, if it ain't fun as hell firing a shotgun in any FPS game, right? And so if you imagine a shotgun that can shoot pretty fast, has more bullets than Sazabi, and is on a fast character with a grenade launcher, with a bazooka, with mines, super agile and kind of tanky, I think that would be a really fun suit. I just think Camphor, with the roster that Gundam Evolution is probably going to have, with them adding 5 suits a season, which is pretty decent, but he's just not popular enough, I think, to make the cut. Don't think he would necessarily sell that well. His mechanics might be okay, but I think all the other suits of this guy, I think this guy has the lowest chance of making it. I just think the only way Camphor makes it in is if we get to like a season 9, season 10, and then they kind of throw this guy in here as like the oddball pick. I think other suits from 8th MS Team would probably get in first. War in the Pockets, just like kind of those Gundam series that are like not that people hate them, but they're just not really that popular. I think this guy is way down there. He's like a D tier suit, but I think gameplay carries him more than anything else. So those are my thoughts on potential suits. Looking forward to season 2. I hope there's some really good characters. I hope they address the balance of melee a little bit. I think the game leans too much to melee for a first-person shooter game. So I would kind of like to see that reined in. But let's see what happens. And let me know who you want to see or who you think's coming out. All right, guys. I'll see you in game. Later.